Hey everybody, I'm Lindsay Adler and I'm a portrait and fashion photographer based in New York City. And today what I'm going to be doing is playing around with Canon's new 5DS. And this camera is incredible because it has more than 50 megapixels in a camera body that's exactly like the Canon 5D Mark III. So let me tell you a little bit about why I might want to use this camera. Well, for me in particular, one of the reasons I definitely want to try out this camera, and I'm giving it a shot for a beauty shoot, is because it captures so much detail. If I'm doing a close beauty shot, I can see every pore, every detail, every fleck of makeup, and it's going to be really beneficial if I'm trying to do beauty work or if I'm shooting advertisements. So that's one of the things that's attracted me to trying out this camera. Now, if you know you have so much information to work with, there are a couple things to be aware of, and these are some of the things that I'm watching out for during this shoot. First of all, because it captures all the detail, if you don't have a lens with a lot of resolving power that can capture a lot of detail, that's very sharp, it's going to show up in the file. It's going to fall apart. You won't have that same detail. So you need to make sure you're working with a fantastic lens. In this case, I'm working with the Canon 180mm L series lens, and it's a macro lens. That'll allow me to get up really close to just her eye or to a headshot and capture all of that detail. Now, something else I know that I want to watch out for is if I miss focus even a little bit, it's going to be incredibly apparent. When you're shooting with fewer megapixels, you can get away with being a little bit soft on your focus and being able to fake it in the end result. Unfortunately, when I'm shooting at 50 plus megapixels, if I'm a little bit shaky or a little bit off my focus, it'll be readily apparent. So I'm doing something today that I don't normally do. I'm going to be shooting on a monopod, and I'm going to use my lens collar so that if I want vertical shots, I can rotate the camera horizontal or vertical to achieve the shot that I'm looking for. So I want to make sure I'm nice and steady. I also want to make sure I don't have a lot of ambient light that might register and show up and give me a little bit of blur. And I'm going to also want to make sure that my subject isn't moving a lot. I want to give this a try and make sure I have beautiful, crisp images that really take advantage of the 50 plus megapixels that I have in this camera. All right, let's talk about the lighting in this scene. Right now I'm shooting with a ProPhoto D1 Air 500 watt second as my main light. And the modifier that I have on it is a ProPhoto 20-inch white beauty dish. And this beauty dish I have raised at a slightly higher angle because my goal in this shot is to show a lot of detail. I can't wait to check out these files in post. So I have the light a little bit higher so that it rakes across the skin, shows a bit more detail. And I've also added a grid. That grid is going to add a little bit more contrast, a little bit more detail to her face. And if this gets a little bit too dark, a little bit too contrasty, I can go ahead and add in a reflector to fill in those shadows, to make them a little bit softer. What will happen with this lighting setup is because I have a beauty dish with a grid, the light isn't really going to reach the background. And I like the warm tones that I have here in case I decide to go for a wider shot. I have a savage beige background. So what I need to do is I need to add a second light. And the light that I have here again is a ProPhoto D1 Air 500 watt with a 10-degree grid. And that grid is going to give me just a spotlight of light on the background behind her head. So I can see a little bit of that beige. So if I pull back for a wider shot, I'm going to want to use that second light. Okay, so I'm going to give this camera a try. I'm going to aim for images with lots of detail, and I'm going to be really careful to keep my camera steady and also make sure I have my focus points spot on. And I'll definitely not be shooting wide open. Instead, I'll be shooting more like f11, somewhere around there, so that I know that even if it's slightly off, it'll help me just a little bit with my focus. All right, so let's shoot that.